So you want to know some pros and cons about the Upper West Side. Maybe you're thinking about what it's like to live here, or you're having a vacation, whatever it is, and you want to know, hey Michael, what is it like in the Upper West Side? Well, today I'm going to highlight some big pros and some cons. So you're going to want to stick around to the end of the video, because to be honest with you, there's so many things to go over in the Upper West Side. The Upper West Side is a huge neighborhood. It goes all the way from 59th Street to 110th. Central Park West to Riverside Boulevard, Riverside Drive if you're above 72nd Street. What that means for you that don't know how far those streets and avenues go, it's about 3 miles from north to south alone. And the avenues are quite larger than so. It's a lot to cover. I could honestly do pros and cons, like an entire video on each and every one of those. So if you do have a favorite topic that you want me to highlight more or cover more, I can get really in depth with that. Everyone, my name is Michael Holt with Living New York. I'm a real estate agent right here in New York City with Compass. If this is your first time to the channel, I encourage you to subscribe, hit that notification button. That way you can be the first one to know when I make a new video. And the type of videos that I make are all about New York City. It's what it's like living here. It's the pros and cons of neighborhood. It's great restaurants. I mean, you're gonna get a full in-depth detail, of course, inside some really nice real estate properties. So this is one of my first shoot locations I wanted to show you. Riverside Park is a huge benefit. A definite pro about the Upper West Side is that you have a number of parks here. Riverside Park being one of the very best. Of course, Central Park is going to be the main park that everybody knows about, but Riverside Park is a huge local thing. So when you get to live in the Upper West Side, you essentially have both options. Now, Riverside Park, you have everything from dog parks to playgrounds to even like a little baseball, softball kind of area, even a restaurant or two. So there's some really neat things about Riverside Park that I think that you would like, and also living in the Upper West Side, having both parks. So greeneries, parks, that is one benefit of the Upper West Side for sure. The other thing I want to mention as well, it's another positive, are the cultural amenities. I'm talking some of the best museums in the world, I guess you could argue, that you have here, and also just entertainment centers in general. Everything from the Museum of Natural History to Lincoln Center, Beacon Theater, some just really neat things to do. Also, amazing jazz club. There's a place called Dizzy's and Columbus Circle. I almost forgot there. It is phenomenal. So definitely some great cultural activities to do here as well. So one of the cons, I guess one could argue, is that the Upper West Side is kind of far from downtown. It also depends where downtown and what time you're heading downtown. Obviously, rush hour is always a little bit of a disaster in New York City, especially if you're going by a cab. Train's a little bit better, but also that can get crowded during rush hour as well. Obviously, you know, Upper West Side is the west side of Manhattan. So if you are going downtown, like Meatpacking, West Village, any of those neighborhoods that are down the west side, that's gonna be a little bit easier than obviously if you're going to like Lower East Side, or pretty much, if you will, for those that don't know Manhattan very well, it's like the Southeast Side. So if you have to make an L, anytime you have to go cross town in Manhattan, period, it's pretty tough. So that, I guess you could say, would be one of the cons depending on your lifestyle. One of my favorite things about the Upper West Side is it is a super residential neighborhood. You don't have that condensed feeling of living in New York City with all the craze. You've got a bunch of tree-lined streets, historical architecture, brownstones. It's like that classic New York feel. I personally love it. I'm going to show you a couple things here. I'm going to take on a little bit of a walking tour, just a brief one. I want to... All right, so I ran into a little bit of a problem here. Definitely a little bit of a rookie mistake. It ran out of daylight. And, you know, to be quite honest with you, this is one of the very first times I'm ever shooting like by myself without a cameraman. I've done dozens and dozens of real estate videos, from like how-tos to showing multi-million-dollar properties, but I'm never having to control the camera, the audio. It's something that I really wanted to do, really just get started this year. It was one of my big goals. So I've done everything from like take tutorials and classes and watch Casey Neistat, and you're learning all these different things, but when you go out and do it yourself and you press record, it's such a different feeling. So pretty wild, pretty different. So bear with me here. I ran out of daylight, and not only did I run out of daylight, one thing you probably noticed obviously is I do ride an electric longboard. I love that. It's one of my favorite ways to get around in the city. To me, it's just like you're snowboarding to work kind of deal. So I ran out of daylight. I didn't get to show you everything I wanted to. Actually, I did get some cool things that I recorded before it got too dark, which I'm going to show you here, absolutely. But I have to finish the other half of my video talking to you in my apartment because, hey, I ran out of daylight. But, it wasn't all bad news. I did make a friend along the way.
Hey, your music's great.
That's what I do for a living, man. So
yeah,
this is the best place to practice,
His name is Leonardo Love. So check him out. Super nice guy. Plays all over Manhattan.
That's beautiful, man. Yo, you're awesome, man.
You know what I mean? We just practice. We spend most of our life practicing. We're trying to like perfect the heart, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
And number one, the competition is rough, but
yeah,
if you keep doing your thing, man, you get your blessing eventually.
Yeah.
So, anyways, then guess what happens? I'm in Central Park. I'm gonna show you a little bit of that at night. It's cool. I actually love riding in Central Park at night. But the problem is my remote on my board and my board itself were both running out of battery. So I made another terrible mistake there. It's very, very dangerous already riding your board in the city because they're pretty sturdy wheels, but you got to watch out for the potholes and everything like that and dodging everyone. But you have a remote that works as your brake, and it works as like it gives you acceleration, all of it. But if that dies, you technically don't have a way to stop except for the old-fashioned longboard kind of style, and I'm not that athletic. I mean, I used to play baseball, but this is a different thing. So that is about to die, and let alone the board's about to die. So, I kind of have to be careful going down the hills of Central Park. And also, not only that, I've got to go through Times Square to get home. So I luckily found an electric bike, put everything on there, and it was just a crazy thing. So that being said, let's get back to actually what matters, and that's giving you information that you're looking for about the Upper West Side. All right, so one of the cons, or another con I should say, about living in the Upper West Side, and honestly there's not that many, I really had to think hard about this because it is really an amazing neighborhood, is the nightlife. Now, don't get me wrong, you're in New York City, you're always going to have like some options. The Upper West Side you have some great live music options. I mean, there's a couple like really good ones, mostly like your type of jazz, things of that nature. But you don't really have, I mean, sure, you do have some bars, but you're not going to go your dance and clubbing there. You're not going to have as many options for just lounges and things like that. But, if you're looking for that, you're probably, not going to be in the right neighborhood if you're looking to really be out and explore different bars, different nightlife. But you're still going to have some lounges. You're going to have some dive bars and places to watch the games, things of that nature. Again, it is much more of a residential area. That said, you are going to have a lot of restaurants. In fact, that brings me to my next pro about the Upper West Side is you have amazing dining options there. You have everything from fine dining to international cuisine and even really, really, really cool cafes if you want to, work from a cafe, have some nice coffee, matcha, whatever option, and just like, just be in a different environment other than your home or apartment for once. And sometimes it's good networking depending on what you do, or if you're single, maybe it's a way to meet someone. But you do have your pros and cons. Some of my favorite restaurants, I would definitely suggest trying a restaurant called Jacob's Pickles. It is known for, ironically, its Southern style cooking. It has everything from breakfast and pancakes to their spicy chicken biscuit that is absolutely mind-blowing. Of course, they specialize in all different kinds of pickles things. That chicken sandwich, though, I'm telling you, it's like spicy, honey, loaded with pickles. It's just like the best of both worlds. And of course, they make their own biscuits, so they put it in that. Unbelievable. Definitely want to prepare to be there for a little bit, and you're going to be stuffed. Another one is a fine dining restaurant called Essential by Christoph. That is a new place, actually. It is amazing food, great presentations. It is worth the money, believe me. What else? There's another one. Cafe Luxembourg is a really neat spot. Oh my goodness. And a really trendy Italian restaurant it's located in Columbus Circle, just in the beginning of 59th Street. So, you know, that's when the Upper West Side starts. But it's called Bad Broman. This restaurant is trending it's all over Instagram feeds, and I'm sure you're going to find a lot of YouTube videos about it if you search for it. But it's just the ambiance there. It's, you know, you're dressy a little bit. The food is just really good quality, though. I had a couple of things that I liked. I had like a truffle tortellini, and the other thing I had was a steak. It was like a fillet, and I'm more of like a fat ribeye guy, but this was a fillet with some type of like ravioli with cheese in the middle, and you just cut this when you cut the cheese and the steak, and it just, yeah, one of those things. Anyways, as I said earlier, I could make a full-blown video about even just restaurants in the Upper West Side in general, even coffee shops. Oh my gosh, I'm like stuttering like crazy today. I don't know what my deal is. But so that is another pro for the Upper West Side, is the restaurant scene for sure. All right, so I have one more quick pro for you, and then I'm going to comment a little bit about the real estate. The last pro I can't comment too much about. It's about the schools there. Fair housing really prohibits me to go in that. But if you go to greatschools.org, it has a lot of high rating schools and options to choose from. I also have a list of websites that you could utilize to be able to search the type of schools that you're looking for, but that is a positive considering the options and ratings that these websites are giving you. Other than that, the real estate there, now again, this is just all about kind of perspective, but whenever you weigh it out compared to other neighborhoods, as far as the, I would say, residential vibe goes at the Upper West Side, one of the biggest rivals it has is the Upper East Side. And that I'll do a whole nother video on within itself, and even do a comparison between the two. But when it comes to the Upper West Side real estate market, the average price is $1.2 million for an apartment. Now, of course, there are lesser priced apartments. It just depends how big you're looking for. If you're looking for a studio or a one bedroom, you know, that's going to be a lot lower than your $1.2 million. But again, there are different building types in New York City, including co-ops, including condos. The West End Avenue that I briefly got to show you before it got super dark there on me, is they have that whole street, they say, is the Park Avenue of the Upper West Side, just because, yes, it's very similar when it has like a two-way streets on both sides, but it's primarily residential. You don't see really any commercial there at all. In certain aspects, it is primarily co-op buildings, which means it's all residential. Co-ops, if you don't know, are very similar to a condominium building. Is basically, yeah, you buy an apartment, you live there, but it's just the ownership type structure. There's little nuances co-ops have versus condos, and I have a whole video of that, including one I made about 2 years ago that you can watch, and don't worry, I'm going to renew that one. But the content's still good, and you will learn the difference between the two. That said, you could still find pretty, attractive options. Again, just depends what you're looking for. Right now, the way the market is today, the market is really favoring buyers, especially buyers that you're looking for renovation projects. Just because rates are so high, there's only so many people that can qualify and have the wherewithal of also going up through a renovation. So right now they're getting awarded a nice discount. In fact, it's a 10-year high between renovated and unrenovated product. So there's also a little bit low inventory right now, guys, of renovated stuff. So if you're really looking and thinking about, hey, I want an investment, I'm thinking about maybe looking in type of a flip opportunity, or I want to buy something and hold it on for a few years, now's that time to start looking. That's really about it. I really, if you made it this far, awesome. That's great, especially with all these little hurdles that I had today. I promise to get more consistent in my content. I should be posting about 1 to 2, most likely 2 videos a week. But remember, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification button so you can have these prime alerts when I'm coming out with new videos to show you around New York City. And you know what? I would love to hear from you too, whether you're looking to move in 9 or 90 days and you have questions. I help people all the time that call me from my videos that I've made in filming property tours or even blog posts that I do on my website. And I'd love to hear from you. So shoot me a text, give me a call, or reach out and let's Zoom, okay? All right, see you next time.